Good evening, everybody. Sammy Thunder here. Welcome back to the channel. Tonight's video will be showcasing part 3 of 4 of my collection. Part 1 and part 2 were Christy Mathewson and Tom Seaver. This one, not to say the other two were not special, but this one is really special. Both my grandfather and my dad grew up Willie Mays fans. My grandfather got to see him play starting from his rookie season all the way to his retirement. Got to go to the Polo Grounds. My grandfather grew up on the Upper West Side near Washington Heights in that area, so he was able to get to a lot of Polo Grounds games and obviously kind of just gravitated to the Giants. My grandfather's favorite player was Bobby Thompson, but loved Willie Mays and admired him. Sadly, my grandfather passed away not too long ago, which is why I'm wearing this ribbon, which was given out during the funeral procession. And here's a picture of him. He converted into a Mets fan. I don't know when. I don't know if it was immediately when the Mets came up, or I don't know, during those years, during the interim years when the Giants moved to San Francisco, I don't know if my grandfather remained a Giants fan during that time. It's hard to say. I don't know. But he loved the Mets, suffered with the Mets, and celebrated with the Mets. Every single year for his birthday, towards the end of his life, I gave him some cool memorabilia. Monty Irvin autograph, Bobby Thompson cards, a bobblehead, and so this video I want to dedicate to my grandfather because grandfather was a really big influence when it came to sports in general. I can go on, but that's for another video. But I'll be thinking of my grandfather while doing this video. So I'll switch over to a different format to show the cards so you guys get the best look possible. I didn't do this the other videos, but I thought I'd do this with this one, so enjoy. Okay, so I'm going to start this off with some cards, some raw cards that were gifted to me by viewers of my channel. And so I'm going to start it off. Forgive me if I don't remember some cards. I can't exactly remember where they came from, so forgive me. I have an idea. So we'll start with one. This one right here, the Heritage. This one, Bubble Star is back. Pop this out. A little disc. This one I want to say it could have been either Tom from Milford or Dom from Statement Sports Cards. It's a Topps Heritage. Dom gave me some cool stuff for the National this year, including a lot of Willie Mays stuff. But I think I'm leaning more towards Tom gave this to me, but it's a really cool collectible piece. Kind of keep a stack of all the Willie Mays stuff I receive and always keep it together so it doesn't get lost. This one I think came from Tom from Milford. If you're unfamiliar with my channel, Tom from Milford is a guy that comes to all the Milford card shows I set up at. He also goes to a number of other Connecticut shows. Really nice, just super nice guy. We have great conversations. Talks to me about how he has to clean up his collection all the time. It always gives me a laugh. But he shows me some of the pickups he makes, and he has such an amazing collection. I definitely have to have him on at some point if he's willing to jump on a video with me. Here's the back of the Kmart card. This one I think was from '87, something like that. Yep, says that on the back. All right, so this one definitely came from Dom. I remember this one. This one stands out. The USA-Japan Baseball Friendship stamp. Willie Mays, and I can't make out the Japanese player. Looks like this stamp was stamped, and it's blocking his name, and my eyes are not what they used to be, so I'm going to probably have trouble reading it, but this is pretty cool. and it's in great shape. I think Dom gave Lou Rock one as well. But thank you so much, Dom, for thinking of me, man. It's always great hanging out with you. Always great spending time at the National. I'm glad you decided to go this year. Wouldn't have been the same without you. So I have two of these. And I want to say this is the one that Scott Reindeer Studios gave me. Don't you guys love the Kellogg's Sports Flicks? It's fun, right? It's like going back in time when they used to give these out. Or I remember going to like the Denny's and they had the Mo Vaughn card. That was more like a hologram, but still really cool. Sports Flicks are very, just all right. That's enough. But yeah, thank you, Scott. That was really cool of you to think of me and to throw me a nice gift of Willie Mays Sports Flicks. Tom from Milford again gave me this chrome Willie Mays card. Look at the centering on that bad boy. Pretty sweet. This was given out, looks like, in '96. Topps Company Willie Mays commemorative set card. I think it uses the same bio and statistics. Very cool. Here's the other Sports Flicks card. Same one. This one I think came from Tom from Milford. Just double checking that. Yeah, it's the same one. Okay. Not losing my mind. Thank you again, Tom. The Nestle card, I can't remember. I want to say this is a Tom from Milford, but if you lay claim that you gave this to me, somebody else gave this to me, then please let me know. Gotta love those 80s. This one looks like it was Topps partnered with Nestle for this one in '87. Very cool. So those are some of the... actually no, I have a couple more items. This is cool. The autographed $1 bill of Willie Mays. This was given to me by a viewer of my channel named Buddy, who had a collection that was just great collection of stuff. And ultimately, Brian B. Roth bought the collection, but I got a few pieces of it. And this was gifted to me by Buddy. And I want to say Buddy told me that this relative met Willie Mays, didn't have really anything for him to sign, but she had this $1 bill, and he was so generous enough that he signed it. So, very cool. And Buddy, if you watch this video, hope you're doing well, man. You have just an incredible collection of cool stuff. Let's see what's next. This was gifted. Whoop. This is the Auravision, 1964 Auravision. This was gifted to me by Chris. Chris is somebody that sets up at Garfield every now and then. He also buys, and he is someone who has an incredible collection of stuff. I mean, just an overwhelming amount of great stuff. And from what Chris told me, he was at a flea market one day and saw that this was kind of in like a tote or one of those plastic tubs. And he bought like a big piece for his collection, and this was like a throw-in. And so Chris saw me at Garfield and gave this to me because he knew, big Willie Mays collector, and it was really, really thoughtful for him to do that, to think of me at that time, to say, hey, I know he doesn't have this, so. Chris, I know you watch my videos, and I appreciate you thinking of me to offer me the Auravision. This one has definitely seen some love, which is great. Someone got a lot of use out of it. Probably played it a number of times. But I know Jason, my buddy who does the cardboard and cold ones with me, everyday card collector, he is working on the set, and he has the maze. But I always keep my eye out for any Auravisions for him. So, but this is really cool. And so, again, thank you, Chris. So, let me just grab a quick swig of water. So moving along, this I need to be delicate with because it's very fragile. Just condition is not what it used to be, but the Willie Mays comic book, the amazing Willie Mays comic book. This was also from the collection of Buddy. Buddy had this and was offered this to me. It's just really cool. I think this is from the 50s, sometime in the 50s, which I'm a little afraid to open it up and start reading it, but I did get a chance to. I mean, it's just the comics are just full of life and just full of color, and it's a beautiful, beautiful piece in my collection. Love looking at it all the time. I have it in a binder, and I keep it in a binder sleeve and protected. So, bringing it out for you guys to enjoy. So now we get to some of the raw pieces that I've had in my collection for quite some time. So I'll start with this one. 1971 Topps Willie Mays. Pretty well loved. This is cool because I got this for 25 cents at a card show. One of my first card shows back when I started getting back into the hobby. I found this in a box for 25 cents. Guy advertised it as 25 cents per card. And I saw this and I was like, that's a no-brainer. You can have wrinkles all throughout the front and I'd still buy it for 25 cents. Here is the 69 decal. I remember at Strongsville, Pastor Craig as we know him, gave me a card, the Tom Seaver card with the decal on top. And I know probably some super fan did it, and I love it for that reason. And so, Craig, thank you again for being so generous. I showed that in my Tom Seaver video, but this is a cool little piece as well. This is pretty cool. This is from the same exact top loader from the 1990s. My dad got this for me, the 1973 Willie Mays, his last card, if you don't count the 74. And this was purchased at one of the Gloria Rothstein shows in White Plains that I used to go to. Still, when you walk through the county center, it still has that feel. And what a great card to have found getting back into the hobby again. Good back, too. Not much chipping on it. Here we have the coins, I guess. I think they're the coins. I'm not as familiar with the coins, to be honest with you. It's not something I generally seek out, but when I saw this, I thought, that's pretty. Alright, yeah, I'll go with that. It's an entire set of 120 All-Stars. I think it's from 64, 63 or 64, one of those years. The Globe imports from 69. These are relatively easy to find if you at shows. Some of the bigger shows will probably have these. The tougher ones to find are the ones with the back that have a checkered board back to them. Those are tough. Saw Tom Seaver that was on eBay for like thousands of dollars. It was graded an 8, I think, PSA. But here's my Willie Mays. Here is a Bowman. Oh, no, not Bowman. Excuse me. Here is a Bazooka Willie Mays. You guys know how I feel about the Bazooka cards. This one's not the greatest cut, but it's the most important part of it is intact. And, oh, yeah, here's some more. I wish sportscasters did a better job with the photo selection, but that's okay. Nice close-up of Willie Mays here with the Mets. This is a set that came out in the late 70s. There's a lot of variations from different languages, Italian, Swedish, I think, as well. I'm not 100% sure. On the back, they show a nice biography about him, and on the bottom, awards and records. And this one looks like it's from '77, printed in Italy. So the printing, that's what it is. The printing was done in a particular country. So some are Japan, some different countries are involved in this set. There's a lot of variations. Jake will love this one. A well-loved Redman Tobacco Willie Mays. I don't know which year this is, to be honest, but I saw this sitting at a shop in upstate New York, really just kind of soaking in the sun for probably many, many years. But I figured, what the hell, I'll buy it. So I did. Here's the back of it. And I think I probably will be inspired to pick up a Willie Mays Redman from one of the early years, just to upgrade from this one. So there's that. Oh man, I forgot. Dom also gave this to me at the National. This Topps Finest game worn uniform of Willie Mays with the Mets. So thank you again, Dom. This is really cool to kind of have a little piece of history there. Nice little relic. Some other stuff, actually. This was Tom from Milford gave this to me. Postcard of him. Postcard of Willie Mays. The artist, I think it's on the back, Michael J. Taylor. So this is a postcard from the early 90s. And I guess you could send this out. And then these, I think you could probably still get these in Cooperstown. I'm sure they have them in the gift shop. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. Also a Tom from Milford gift. The memorials that they have. If you've ever been to Cooperstown and you walk through, it's something to behold. I mean, it's incredible. Incredible feeling. And then you have the wax figures of some of the big names in the back. That's pretty cool. Here's the back of the postcard. All right, so now we get to some of the graded cards that I have, as well as a sneak preview of the big highlighted SGC Mays pickup, which I sent it for grading, and I got it back. So, which I'll be doing an SGC video or an SGC reveal video soon on that. Let's start with a big card. Let's start with a really big card. The 52 Willie Mays. This was my big Chicago National pickup. I think it looks really amazing for a 1, and centering is pretty decent on it. It's got to be up there. I would say it's probably my favorite Topps issued card that they did. I know some people don't like it for whatever reason, but that's okay. Maybe there's a number of reasons, but I personally like the violet, blue, purplish background to it. It really makes him stand out in this photo. His facial expression on just very, just got that competitive look on his face. I also just love the star-framed border around his name, as well as the Giants insignia. Here's the back. Talking about his prior year in 51 and his statistics on the bottom. So next we'll jump to 12 years later to 64, top stand-up. I remember Chicago National, everybody buying the top stand-up cards. There was a number of people who bought one, and I thought that's really cool. The green and the yellow. The green kind of makes me think of like baseball grass. The yellow, I'm not 100% sure. The green is just grass, and the yellow, but it's just a good contrast to the yellow. It's simple in its design overall, but it's just when you see them in a display case, it stands out, and it captures your attention, and it definitely captured mine. This one got a 2, most likely because somebody wrote 1100 on the back. I don't know why. But this one I got from Stan's Vintage. Let's see what else we got. This one has a good story. I've mentioned this story numerous times, so I'll keep it short. This was a Legends Never Die purchase. Of course, it was not in the tomb that he likes to call it. This was bought raw, and this is before I knew Jake. And it's funny because at the time I bought it goods and services because he preferred to do friends and family, but I didn't know him at the time, so I just did goods and services, and I paid the extra fee just to offset that for him. And now we laugh about it because if I purchase anything else from Jake, it's friends and family all the way with him. So thank you, Jake, again, for such a good deal on this card. Good centering for a 2.5, I think. So here's the back. 54 is up there as well as being one of my favorite sets to peruse through when I do get the chance. Couldn't do this video without showing you guys a transagram. Wouldn't be the same. I'm gonna try to do this gently. Not bad. But transagram card. I had a good conversation on the train going up to the East Coast National with Mangini when he was here to visit. And we talked about how the transagrams, when they get graded, they should just either be graded authentic, everything authentic, or given just number grades. Either way. I like to lean more towards number grades just because I think it makes it a lot more fun. Just going by condition sensitive and not so much by the way it's been cut. But if I remember right, I think John preferred it to just be authentic. Like when you send it in, just have it grade authentic, and that's it. And then if you sell it, then obviously every authentic is going to be different, because it'll be condition sensitive, condition based. So I can see both perspectives on it and appreciate that. Here comes a fun one for you guys. Hires root beer. No tab. Orlando just got the one with the tab at the National. That's a hell of a pickup. This one's without. And this one's graded a 4. This one I got from Ash. And gave me a really nice deal for it. They're there. They're out there. The ones without a tab are more frequent than the ones with the tab. Those are the ones with the tab. Chances are the National is going to be your best bet to find one. Auction houses, typically, you can find one. But this is nice. And then you have dropped it. And you have the test issue. Test issue's tougher. I did see one without a tab at the National. I have not seen one with a tab anywhere. Those are exceedingly tough to find. And if anyone has tabs on where to find one, please let me know. So, but I'm perfectly happy and content with this one. This one I found at the Philly show. If you guys don't know the story, I've bought this off of a dealer named Dan. I've been on my feet for all day, 7 hours walking the floor, and Dan was the last guy I went to, and he so happened to have this card. It was on my list. Pulled it out of his fanny pack. I think he was going to send it in for grading, and so I said to him, I was like, Dan, what can I do to get this off your hands? And so came to an agreement, and then I went to send it into SGC. So now we get to the final stretch. These are the really big pieces of my collection, of my Maze collection. First, we'll show this one. And we're going to come back to this one as well, the Journal American. This one was purchased at Philly as well with William Chappell. Great stuff he has. I don't know if you guys ever check out his table at the National or the Philly show or Strongsville. I've seen him at those 3 shows. Great assortment of every type of card you can think of. Everything. He has the variety. And I find him easy to work with. But this is a really nice piece. And this was distributed in the New York Journal American. This set features all the big names, Mickey Mantle, Jackie Robinson. It just focuses on the 3 New York teams at the time from '54. So the Mantle, I think, is the big prize out of all the teams, Willie Mays and Robinson. These were distributed in the paper, and you would get a number associated with it, and you'd have a chance to win $1,000 daily winnings. So nowadays, this card is probably, I paid a little over $1,000 for this card, so it's kind of funny how things come back. But what a piece to have. I see these every now and then, but it's this one, to find it in a 6, that's pretty amazing. And this is their schedule on the back. We're going to come back to this card shortly, so I'm going to put this off to the side. Another William Chappell purchase, the Bazooka 59, the first year they issued this card, or the first Bazooka card. Great set. I like that it's oversized. I don't know how some other people feel about it. I like that it's oversized and it's big, and it sits really nicely in this slab. The set in general features big names. You got Mickey Mantle as well. I think Hank Aaron. I know Rocky Colavito is in it. I know because I think Scott from Reindeer Studios is looking for that one at some point. I don't know if maybe he has it. I don't recall. I want to say he says he's still looking for that one. Nevertheless, this one is an SGC 4, and I was stoked to buy it on the first day at Strongsville. I was with Jason at the time when he was buying his Ed Walsh. So, T206 portrait, I believe that was, same day. Okay. The next one is tough to decide which one goes first, so we're just going to go with this one. Have to go with this one. Coca-Cola test tips, playing tips, test card. This one is really, really, really difficult to find. From my understanding, last I checked, there was 13 or 14 of these graded with PSA. And the funny thing is that at the National, Tony, viewer, I think he watches my channel, Tony saw one at William Chappell's table It was graded authentic, and he bought that one the same day. The first day. First day? Wednesday or Thursday? Can't remember. Might have been the beginning of Thursdays when he bought it. That was the same day that I found out that he bought it because we went to the YouTube meetup and he had it. We have a great picture together where we're standing side by side. So, how this came to be for me, this PSA 1, I posted a while back on Net54 looking for. I'll take this one down to showcase shortly, but the Laughlin Super Stand Up. I posted inquiring about if anybody had one, and I didn't get any responses, unfortunately, but I ultimately heard back from this guy, Steven, who reached out to me and told me that he had one and he'd be willing to sell it. As obviously I did purchase it along with the Chesterfield advertisement, but I found out that Steven had this as well. He had the Coca-Cola tips, and he wasn't certain if he was going to sell it. I think he was also, understandably, still very much attached to it. I went on vacation in New Orleans, so I was kind of checking my email every day to see if there was any updates. And the day came, middle of my trip in New Orleans, he says, I will sell it for X amount. Or it was the Coca-Cola. He actually told me that he had a bunch of cards, so it was the Coca-Cola, the Chesterfield, the Laughlin Super Stand-Up, as well as the last card I'll show you. That came back from SGC today. Or it came back on Monday. And he gave me a figure for all of it, and I said, deal. To find all four of those items together, the Laughlin Super Stand-Up, the Coca-Cola test, the Chesterfield advertisement, to do a deal for all four of those is just unheard of. I love looking at this Coca-Cola card. I love it. I absolutely love it. And I can't even really give you specifics. I think it's just the counterculture or just the culture clash of Coca-Cola, Willie Mays, his second year, holding a Coca-Cola bottle, the schedule, the color choices, his profile shot that he has, the Polo Grounds. I'm assuming it's the Polo Grounds behind him. See the Willie Mays story behind, and so you get the back, and on the bottom it says drink Coca-Cola. You get a full biography. Man, I think it's part of it is just the hunt of trying to find this card for so long, and actually having it in front of me, and purchasing it and having it. That's something, man. That is something. Like I said, the last few cards are very difficult to pick which ones to go with. So there's that one. I mean, I hate to just kind of take it away, but this one, man. There we go. Stallmeyer. Can't even really put words to how special this is. And thanks to Brian B. Roth for letting me know that this was available. It wasn't from his inventory, but he tagged me on the Facebook post of the guy that was selling it. Andy Geller is his name. Big seller in the Facebook community. I think he was also set up at the National. I love this card. I love this card. And there's a great website dedicated to the Stallmeyer history. They were the official hot dogs of the Yankees, the Giants, and the Dodgers in the 50s. And for 2 years, they issued these cards in the packaging of the hot dogs. I've spoken to Mangini about this as well because we talked about how a lot of those cards got damaged because they were ripped out of the packaging, hot dog juice got all over them, and this one's not too bad for a 1. It's pretty good shape. The back, that's where you got probably the hot dog juice, but you could still read everything. I love this. I love this card. I mean, it's hard to pick which one I like more, if I like the Coca-Cola or the Stahlmeyer. They also have this similar color scheme too, red and yellow. You can sort of see it. Very similar color scheme in the back. Yeah, you can really, a lot of similarities. I don't know. But those, yeah, I would say the Coca-Cola and the Stahlmeyer are my two special cards. It's really hard to pick a favorite amongst those two. They're definitely standouts. Alright guys, so we're going to go on a journey now, because this is going to be easier for me to take my camera and show the Laughlin Super Stand-Up. So we're going to go on a little ride here and just kind of take a zoom in lens or zoom in and take a look. The Laughlin Super Stand-Up, and then you have the Chesterfield advertisement that came along with this package deal from Steven, the Net 54 member who reached out to me. It all started with this. So the Laughlin Super Stand-Up, there's an entire set of these. I don't know how many of these he commissioned, but big names. There's Mantle, there's Babe Ruth, there's Mays, there's Hank Aaron, there's Clemente, and on the back you would see his autograph signature. Is like a particular way he would sign it. So how you got these? I think if you knew the artist, you could probably buy it from him, buy it from Laughlin. I know he gave a bunch of these to Baseball Nostalgia, a card shop that was in business for many, many years in Cooperstown. So you could buy them from there. I'm still looking for the Tom Seaver one that he did. That one's going to be tough to find, but oh man, what a great piece. What a great piece of artwork. And the Chesterfield ad is incredible. I think I have a thing with yellow. I like the contrast of yellow and red. It works so well. And what a great shot of Mays too. Beautiful. I'm going to go back down here and we'll finish up. The last piece I want to show you guys, and this is the newest piece to the collection, also came from that Net 54 deal that I made. Here it is, guys. I'll zoom out a little bit. There we go. This is, of course, the San Francisco Call Bulletin Willie Mays. Now, for those that don't know how I learned of this set, this was developed first in my mind in the Strongsville show, where I discovered that Greg Halpig had the 58 Orlando Cepeda sitting in his display case. And I asked him about that. I said, I've never seen this before. It's from his rookie year, 58. I've only ever seen Cepeda's Topps card, but I've never seen something like this. And so I bought it, negotiated a price, and I bought it, and I was like, man, that is super cool. I got to look this set up. Of course, to my surprise, there is a Willie Mays. And so I was like, oh man, I got to find that card. I got to find it. And not too long after, maybe 3 months after, part of that package deal for the Laughlin and Chesterfield and the Coca-Cola, this came along. Bought it raw. I sold the Cepeda over to Dom's, David Sports Cards. He was interested in buying it from me. and got this back on Monday, man. This is a nice sneak preview. Came back a 5. This is very similar. Like I mentioned, I was going to bring this back out. The Journal American and the San Francisco Call Bulletin. Very, very similar. I think they're the same size as well. And same concepts. Newspapers were, I mean, not that San Francisco Call Bulletin and Journal American had much, direct competition, but they had the same ideas. I'm sure they wanted to compete with their local counterparts that they had. But yeah, here, family fun game, cash and merchandise prizes daily. Watch the Call Bulletin for daily lists of winning numbers. Dial KGBS for clue words. That's pretty cool. It looks like, the San Francisco Call Bulletin went a little bit further. But this is amazing. To have both of these, and the fact that this stub was not ripped makes it all more special. Now, I was mistaken. When I looked this on the pop report, SGC's pop report showed, when I first looked, it showed that the only one that existed was one that had the tab removed. But then I did a little bit more legwork, and I saw that there were others of these that were graded. And so, but it's still a very special, it's just a very special piece. And to see the contrast, you got the 58 and the 54 together. Very similar. So I wanted to finish on a high note and share with you guys an SGC graded card that came back, and I'm very pleased with the grade. So I hope you guys enjoyed the showcase. As I mentioned before, I think of my grandfather with these cards and just his experience watching the Giants in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and the Mets as well during those same course of years from the 60s and 70s. So this is in dedication to him. I will be making a video on the SGC reveal. I have the remainder of the cards, so I'll definitely do a video on that. But thank you guys again for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this as much as I did going through all this stuff. And I look forward to catching up with you guys again. We have a Cardboard and Cold Ones this Thursday night. It'll be episode number 10, so we're hitting double digits. So definitely come by for that. But look forward to catching up with you guys soon. Take care.